Good evening, everybody. It's time for another live stream of Behind the Rojo Rope. It's been a while, been a minute. I've been doing a lot of Snarky Lounge lately, which I love. If you don't know Snark Lounge, every Sunday at 9 p.m. Beijing time. I'm a frequent guest on there, and I've been on his show quite a bit lately. I have so much fun. If you don't know, that's one of the best live streams coming out of China. But I haven't been with you on my own live stream for quite a while, so I thought I'd pop my ugly head up for another live stream tonight. Um, it's been a wonderful holiday. I am technically still on holiday. I know many teachers have gone back into the classroom this week. The universities typically start a little bit later. Um, I am going to be doing my lectures in the towards the end of the month. Pretty much the first month of March is when I'll be back in the lecture hall. And so between now and then, about 2 weeks, I have lots of lesson planning to do. So that's what I plan on doing here in Zhongshan for the next couple of weeks. Oh, we already got some people on. Stanley, thank you. Hello, thank you for coming. And Team Trek Trekska, what's going on in China? Well, if you watch our videos and all the vloggers in China, you can see what's going on in China. The Olympics kind of dominates all the channels. Everyone's still doing the Olympic thing. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. I'm really loving it. It started with the ski jumps and the snowboarding and then the figure skating. And now I think it's getting into the luge. I even enjoy the curling, to be honest with you. So I love the Olympics. I really do. I'm a big fan. I got some photos to share with you guys too. I've also been doing a lot of filming over the last few weeks. I haven't done any traveling other than, I went hiking in Shaoguan for a day. That was just a personal trip. I didn't film it. I just needed to get out into nature. I went down to Zhuhai and did a little hike there. So I've been doing little things like that. And I just got back from Guangzhou. I spent a night in Guangzhou at the Rosewood, Guangzhou. This is a very exciting hotel experience that I get to share with you very soon. And catching up with friends, having dinner with friends, and um, it's difficult to travel right now, not because there's outbreaks or anything, but there's just the potential of outbreaks, and getting tests and all of this is kind of annoying. And so that's what's really I just don't want to really deal with it. So I've been staying in Zhongshan. I've been doing a lot of filming here in Zhongshan. I got some cool stuff coming up. As well as I know you guys are all love my car videos. I got more car videos coming, uh, especially some older cars, some older Chinese cars. I've got this new thing going on right now where I'm filming at used car lots. I'm in the market for a new car probably this summer. I probably won't buy a brand new car. I'm not really a brand new car kind of guy. I like used cars, but I've been going to the lots and just taking a look around and getting like some ideas and some pricing. I've been filming it. And while I've been doing that, I've been making some contacts with some of these sellers. And there's some really interesting cars that are obviously 1 or 2, 3 years old. That's kind of where I'm looking. But there's also some cars that are, you know, 5, 10, 15 years old, Chinese cars that nobody knows about. There's no videos on the internet about them. It's so I've been really interested, and some of them are really funky and interesting and quirky. And I think it'll be another element that I get to give to all of you guys as I explore it myself. Um, and of course, in April, I do have plans to go to Beijing for the Beijing Auto Show, which is going to be I mean, Shanghai last year was, in my opinion, the greatest auto show ever. But I think Beijing this year has a potential to top it because there's so many new brands and new joint ventures, not just here in China, but worldwide that are coming together with all the technology coming. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be more than just new cars, new internal combustion engine cars, new electric cars, of course, but there's going to be new technology that's going to be on display there, as well as a lot of the robo technology. And I know if you guys know, I went to Beijing last month to visit Baidu and learn a little bit about Baidu and what they're doing. And they've got some exciting things coming out with partnerships with other companies too. So lots of things coming up Really, really cool stuff. Let's share some photos with you. If you have any questions, please say hi to me. I'd love to talk with you guys. And then I'm going to go into the news a lot because there's a lot of interesting news happening that most of you probably don't know about. And that's one of the things I really love about my live streams is I get to talk to you about what's going on in the news here in China. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay, well, let's start with my usual and get you some photos. Oh, I didn't set this up right. Yeah, that's typically the case, isn't it? Right. Okay, so here in Zhongshan, everyone talking about the Beijing Olympics, right? And I'm really enjoying them. I really am. It's it's on every TV. You go to any restaurant, go to any bar. The Olympics are playing. There's a really and everyone's talking about it. And there's an ice skating ring here above me in the mall that's below me. See, I'm above the ice skating ring. Anyways, in the mall below me, there's a tiny little ice skating ring, and it is packed with people. There's so much attention and excitement about it that every day it is packed. And they have some like figure skating coaches, and there's some young men and women out there. I mean, young, I mean, very, very little kids out there doing flips and turns and everything. And this is just in my small town in this random little ice skating rink right down in this mall. Pretty impressive. So yes, I put on some skates. I went out there and I kind of skated around a little bit. I've done it before, but it's not easy. I mean, it's quite a workout. My legs are still sore from it. But of course, everyone is very excited for that, and I know that the ski slopes in there's an indoor ski area in Guangzhou that I've been trying to get to, but there always is some kind of like little thing that keeps me from going in Guangzhou. It's in Huangpu, and I hope to go there. But I know that over the holiday, that place was packed with people. Now that the kids are back into school and kind of life has gone back to normal as far as it's post holiday, uh, the crowds there should be less. And of course, I have 2 more weeks before I get back into the classroom, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. There are rumors of some outbreaks here in parts of Guangdong. A couple here, one or two here. There's one in Guangzhou. I think there's one here in Zhongshan that's just announced today. Asymptomatic, but they're still gathering information about it. So it's a very distinct possibility that they will put that little star asterisk on my QR code because there's one person in a city of 5 million. And so therefore, if I do want to go anywhere, I have to get tested and have all that information ready to go. I mean, it's not fun. It's kind of annoying because lines and gotta go down to the clinic and get it done. And yeah, I know there were a couple in Guangzhou. So, and when this happens, they typically lock everything down. It's funny. I was in. I'll get back to this photo in a second, guys. I'm sorry. Hi, Rich. How are you doing, man? Good to see you. I was in Guangzhou last night, enjoying a lovely evening in Zhujiang, Tianhe district there, and I was at the hotel. I was at the bars, just having a cup of coffee and eating a little dessert, doing a little writing, and the GM came by and he introduced himself. Very nice guy, and we got to talking, and then also I posted some photos on my WeChat that hey, I'm at this wonderful hotel, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, you're living in my neighborhood. Be careful." And people are not scared of the virus; they're scared of the lockdowns. Now, whether or not that's the proper thing, it is the way it is, and it is highly effective. Because I was at the bar having a cup of coffee, and when the GM came by, he was like, "Yeah, they just announced some mall or something. They had an asymptomatic case, and so they locked down the mall." It was a Chimelong. Chimelong had it too, and that's in Panyu. And we were talking as hotel people talk. We were talking about RevPAR and all different kinds of things. It was really great to talk with such a incredibly professional guy. And he's like, yeah, we were having our afternoon tea, then this came out in the news and everyone left, and like the complete business was shut down. So people are not necessarily afraid of the virus per se. they seem to be more afraid of the lockdowns and the ramifications of that. So it's just a different world here in China compared to what I see in other parts of the world and how they deal with these things. A different mindset. Even I just came back from Chinese class, and my teacher, she's the one who told me. She's like, "Oh yeah, get some food in your house because they might lock us down." This is the world we live in here, guys. It is the way it is, and it's really the reason why there is very little, if any, COVID really here. Or I don't want to talk about that, but it is how they work things here, and it's effective for them. So okay. What else is window to micro world. Hello from Malaysia. Hello, sir. Are you in Kuala Lumpur? I think you were. No, you were in a different place, if I recall. Johnson Lee, thank you. You've been watching a lot of my videos. Thank you for the wonderful comments lately. I do appreciate that. I will be answering a lot of them soon. You've written some novels on my my videos, dude. But yeah, the Rosewood Guangzhou. The one you recently watched, I just saw your comment, was the Rosewood in Beijing. Really remarkable hotel. Oh no, that was the Eclat Art Hotel. Anyways, I was invited to go to the Rosewood Guangzhou, and which is the highest hotel in the world. Phenomenal property, really remarkable. I just got the raw footage. I haven't even gone through it yet, but I hope to be editing that in the next week or so. And Jim says finally made it to one of these live events. Yeah, I don't announce them. I just do it when I want to. I don't have work in the morning, although I am completely exhausted from a full day of filming today. Not just a hotel. I filmed at a wax museum and also the Guangdong Museum there in Tianhe. So I'm very, very, very tired, and I just came back from class. So I don't know how long I'll be able to last on this. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, you're from that city. I can never say it right. I have been to Malaysia, yes. Kuala Lumpur. I spent a couple of days in Kuala Lumpur when I was visiting Singapore. I just took a quick flight over to Kuala Lumpur and enjoyed it. I can't wait to go back. I really can't. There's so much I did not see. You know, Malaysia is like untapped richness, and it's not an expensive place to visit compared to like Singapore, which is really expensive. Malaysia, you can have an incredible vacation and not break the bank. And I want to explore it more. It's very international. A lot of people don't realize how international Malaysia is. Steve asks, here, I'll show you here. One second. Have you been watching the Olympic Games? I have when I get a chance. I don't have TV in my house. So if I'm out at a restaurant, it'll be on. If I'm at a bar at the hotel, it was on. I was watching it last night on the TV, and so yeah, I have been watching it and enjoying it. It's been great. I love the Olympics. This photo here, this is a photo of the torch. It's the platform, the kindling platform, and the kindling lamp. And I got the opportunity. This is here in Zhongshan. This is in Dongfang town on the north side of Dongfang, almost Shunda, almost Foshan. And this is a company, a very large metal manufacturing company in that area. And they invited me to do some filming there. And they're one of the companies. There's a couple of companies that actually make these. But they're one of the companies that make the torch. And you see the torch for the relay ceremony, of course. Everything. These are all the way in Athens. They're shipped to Athens for that, and of course the one here. And a lot of people know one of the torch bearers at the stadium and during the ceremony was Sun Bingtian, who is from Zhongshan. He's an Olympic runner from Tokyo. One of the he's well known. He's from Gujin, and so he was on that and he was carrying this. So there's a lot of Zhongshan pride going into the Olympics for all the manufacturers here. There's clothing, there's disinfecting robots that are made here. There are lighting products, of course. There's solar energy panels that on the new speed skating stadium that are all manufactured. In fact, the speed skating, the solar panels that are made for the speed skating stadium are manufactured like a block from my university, and many of my students actually work in that factory. And I got to go into that factory and take a look around and get a tour and see how these things are made. There's these glass um, solar panel glass sheets, and they can be warped and molded, and then you can put LED lights in them so that they have different colors and put them all together. It's really fantastic stuff, amazing technology, and it was great to see that in my backyard as well as this. So, and yes, I got my picture taken holding it. Right, you gotta have that, right? So, very proud. It's the first time I've ever held one of those. Yeah. More information coming on that soon. Again, this live stream is called Behind the Rojo Rope, or Behind the Red Rope, if you will. Red velvet rope being the thing. That's kind of the. It's basically just me talking to all of you, sharing some news, but also foreshadowing what will be happening on my channel and what I'm currently working on. So this is a great example of that. Okay, what else do I got in here? This is a view from. Why does it small like that? Oh, that's weird. This is a view from. I zoomed in with my iPhone. That the new iPhone Pro 13 has an incredible zoom lens, and so I'm up high in my building, and I'm looking down on this highway, and I just thought that, that poor guy. Everyone was okay. Everyone was safe, but they shut down this road. This is like one of the main arteries in this part of Zhongshan and Shichi, which is the older part. And when this road gets blocked like this, the city is becomes gridlock. I mean, the traffic here is bad as it is already. By the way, they did a study that the reason why is like something like 40% of all the people who are driving in this neighborhood are just looking for parking. This parking is that bad. But anyways, when they shut down this road, it just became nah. And I don't get to see this very often, so I thought I'd share that with you. I was down in Zhuhai at this place here. Um, this is Fenghuanshan. I just went for a little day hike, kind of in the mountain there. You know, it's kind of on the border of Zhongshan. It's just over. It's in Zhuhai, on the north side of Zhuhai, and there's a big temple there. But what I really wanted to show was this is the trailhead parking lot. Here in Zhongshan, we have hiking trails, but they don't have trailhead staging areas and parking lots with restrooms and everything like this. And I was so taken aback, and this is all brand new, and thought, why don't we have this? I rarely see this kind of setup. It's parking is free, and the trail is marked really well, and there are maps and everything. And this is a part of the infrastructure that is starting to become developed more and more here in Guangdong. You're starting to see a lot more of this outdoors, not like a city park with steps and stairs. You're going to see that a lot, but you're starting to see things like this pop up. These tiny little parking spots with groomed trails, with not just the restrooms but also trail maintenance. There's a little security guard there that checks your temperature and your little health code and everything. So I'm really loving this. This is in Zhuhai. I've only seen it in that city, but I know Shenzhen has trailheads like this as well, but I'm starting to see it pop up more and more. These are brand new. I'm looking forward to more and more. So I'm working with the city. I'm a member of the Zhongshan Foreign Advisory Council in their Tourism Hospitality Committee, and the committee chair, and I'm trying to work with the city in developing this type of infrastructure for our local mountains here in Zhongshan, Wuguishan, which is a beautiful set of mountains that has hiking trails and mountain biking trails and horseback riding trails and camping and all kinds of stuff, but there's very little information out there on how to access it. And you go to the local Hilton or to the Sheraton, you ask them, hey, they have no idea. They don't know. They can't point you in any direction. So this is a project that has been taken up, will be taking up a lot of my time in the next year through the summer. Hopefully, have some hiking maps and everything drawn out with cooperation with the city tourism bureau to try to to create things like this because it really is an untapped resource for the city. This is my city. I'm really, really hoping that we can get this as well. Hi, Daniel. Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for joining me, man. It's always great to see like a big star like Daniel on my tiny little live stream. All right. You've been doing some great talks, man. I really, really enjoy your commentary. Mm, yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. Um, Again, with the term starting in a couple weeks, my traveling will be limited. I'll do little weekend trips. I do have a trip planned to Maoming, which is in the west side of Guangdong. There is a resort plus a beach plus some geological parks there with some caves and everything. I'm really starting to get into this geological park cave thing, and Guangdong has a lot of them. So there's a something I'm planning in my head and started to do a little bit of research on it. Hope to do more. Yeah, well, we actually do. Think it's a good point. Jinzhong Reservoir, which I've done videos on. It's a local reservoir. It's a small little reservoir just at the base of the mountain. It's accessible from the main city, and they've got a 10-kilometer walking kind of. Used to be a bike track, but now they don't allow bikes in there anymore. But people go running there. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Um, Attached to that and the new parking lot, they got a brand new entrance, new parks, new playgrounds for children, and they have a skate park there. I don't know about BMX, but um, yeah. So there isn't what we don't have, and what we need are some kind of dog parks. And I know our buddy Fernando was talked about the dog parks that they have in Dongguan. I'm sure they've got to have dog parks in Shenzhen because there's. I've been to Shuko, man. There's lots of people with dogs and pets, but here in Zhongshan, they don't allow people with pets to bring their dogs to the parks. So the Baoans don't allow it, and so if you have a pet in Zhongshan, there's no place to take your dog. Uh, Technically, they're not even allowed in Wuguishan. The Baoans will stop you. So I was I really would love to see just an open area, some vacant lot that we can put some grass down. I don't have a dog, but I understand that this is something that pet owners really need and want. I would love to see that kind of put out. It would be it would pay for itself. You just what 5 yuan to come in, scan the QR code, come in, and that would pay for the maintenance of the park. Uh, it would be a wonderful city amenity. I really hope they do something like that. Do it. Do it. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if the skate park is open, but it's definitely. I saw that being built. I don't know if it's open yet. They've opened the parking lot and the main entrance, but you know how the parks are. They open in stages, and the master plan is in the works. Most definitely. Um, Leash free. If it yeah, it need a leash free kind of caged dog park, one for the smaller dogs, one for the larger dogs. So dogs can interact with each other so that when people take their dogs for a walk here, they rarely get an opportunity to interact with other dogs. And so there's curiosity involved and you need some place for dogs to socialize with each other so that I don't it's just something that it needs. And I know that there's a growing pet industry here. You see more pet stores opening up, more pet services and veterinarians. And I know Shenzhen is full of them. But Zhongshan, it is growing, grows every year. I have many friends of mine who have pets, dogs. I'd love to have a dog, but my lifestyle wouldn't allow it, unfortunately. When I'm an older man and I retired to the Black Hills of South Dakota, which is my plan as an old man, maybe I can get a dog or two. Jim says, "Are they incorporating EV stations to these new parking parks?" Uh, no, I have not seen EV stations at the parks. Not yet. I mean, give it time, it might show up there. I have not seen that, but we do have a new RV park here at Wu Wei Shan. Now, many people know about it. They just came out with a story about it. Uh, So RV parks, I've talked about RVs. It's a thing. It's growing like crazy. It's going to be enormous. You think RVs are big in America and China? Give it 20 years from now, RVs are going to be an enormous industry here in China. And you're starting to see little inklings of that. From Ube's up off, in a trailer. Daniel, I know you have an RV. I would love to have a little trailer that I could take out and explore. My dream is like a little teardrop style trailer. I've never seen a teardrop in China though. Okay, let's move on. Look at us. Okay, some more photos. What's this one? Oh, this is in the Guangdong Provincial Museum. I was just there yesterday. Uh, Very cool museum. Really interesting. Free to go. It's not open on Mondays. But I learned a lot about you know Guangdong and some of the history. The natural history was really interesting, and also the cultural history. And they've got an element there about World War II and all the different battles that were fought throughout against the Japanese throughout the area. And I learned this that the surrender happened right down the street, like literally just a couple blocks from me at the Sun Yat-sen Memorial. So I'll have to go check that out soon. Mm. Oh, my neighbor's opening and closing windows. This is the CTF Finance Center in the middle of Guangzhou. This is where I stayed last night. The Rosewood Hotel occupies the top floors of this. Now, there's some controversy. Is it the highest? They say the one in Dubai is higher. Some people say, but I know for a fact on the 107th floor is the bar called Too High. And I know that by that definition, the bar and the Japanese restaurant that are on the same floor. The bar is the highest hotel bar in the world, and it also has the world's highest swimming pool. So I've been wanting to stay here forever. I finally got a chance to do it. The food was fantastic. Yeah, good stuff. So that's where I stayed last night. Had a great time. This is the view from my room. Check this out. It is dizzying. I mean, this is looking north into the Zhejiang New Town. You can make out the stadium a little bit there. The Grand Hyatt is right there across the street. That's the Jeremiah. Uh, Now, when you're down on the ground in this part of Guangzhou and you look up, you see these giant towers. I mean, they tower above. The architecture is incredible, and it just goes on and on and on. But when you're on the one of the top floors of the tallest building in Guangdong in southern China, and one of the tallest buildings in the world, and you're looking down on it, they look insignificant. They look like babies. And I stayed at the Park Hyatt just a couple of weeks ago, which is just maybe 1 or 2 blocks to the west of this building. And I was on a high floor. I was on like what, the 60th floor or something like that. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. Look at how high I am. No, I don't think I can stay in another tower hotel after what I experienced here. It really was dizzying standing there, but I could just look out. And if you see here, I don't know if you can look at right here. This is Bayou Mountain. And Bayou Mountain is kind of this urban mountain that a lot of people like to go hiking, go to the top, take a look around. I think I'm higher than Bayou Mountain. I'm at about 530 meters. A little less than 530 meters where this picture is taken. But I know when I went up to the bar on the 107th floor, and the bar it has an outdoor terrace. You look down on the Canton Tower. I mean, that's how high it is. It was really cool. This is the swimming pool area. There's this little nook that I found in this corner. I don't have a picture of the swimming pool, but you can just see how the swimming pool's on the 94th floor, I believe. 94th. Incredible. And it's one of those infinity pools, so it kind of goes off the edge. So it's really strange when you swim in your laps and you look to your right and it's just sky. You don't even see buildings. It's just sky. So you have to swim up to the edge and you look down and you're like, holy shit, I'm in the water in the sky. And I ate in the restaurant. The chef. I had this. This was my dinner. This is an oxtail ravioli with mushroom and a cauliflower cream. Very, very opulent. Cost, it wasn't that expensive. Cost maybe 11 or $12 for that. But then he brought out this for me, and I'll be honest with you, I have never had caviar before. This is my first time. It's only like the size of a coin. It's not very big, but it's caviar and scallop, and the center layer there is an apple. And this was extremely decadent with a glass of wine, of course. Incredible. And this is in the lobby. It was Lantern Festival last night, so we enjoyed that. And had when they brought me an amenity, and this was the amenity they brought me. It was like this kind of meat pizza, but then a decanted bottle of scotch. I didn't ask for it; they just brought it to me. So here you go, with some chocolate and some grapes. They just take good care of it. Now, if you know, I'm a luxury hotel guy. I've worked in luxury hotels, and a lot of my channel is about hotels and hotel reviews. And many of them that I stay in are of the luxury and the ultra luxury type. And by the way, uh, I pay for that. I budget it, I plan it. I stay in one of these hotels maybe 1 or 2 nights a month at the most, and they do not comp me in any way. Uh, but when I was sitting in the bar, the GM came by and said, "Hey, you're that guy." I'm like, "Yeah." So he sent me, but I pay for all of this. It comes out of my own budget, and it's a big expense because these are not cheap places to live, to stay. I've been a fan of Ritz Carlton, Four Seasons as big brand. I love little one-off hotels and art hotels, of course. But this is my second time staying in a Rosewood, and I've been blown away for a second time. It is that good. The staff is wonderful. They're well trained. They're happy. The food is fantastic. The rooms are well appointed and very tastefully done. Even for a tower hotel, the design was great. I can't wait to share this hotel with you guys as well. So more in the future, but it's hard to top this one. I do have some ideas of some other places I want to go that are, I've spent a lot of money at this one, so I don't want to. I don't want to stay in another ultra luxury. I want to find more unique ones like the Eclad, more art variant lodges up in the mountains, hot springs resorts, things like this. I've been on a hotel kick lately, most definitely. Okay, let's do some shameless self promotion. I have merch available. You can find it on my website at walkaboutrojo.com. This one's the most popular one, this sweatshirt. Check it out. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's do some news. I got a lot to talk about the news. We'll get into the news. Okay. And then again, if you guys have any questions, want to know what's going on, let me know. I can't be up too late tonight. I don't have work in the morning, but man, I am exhausted. All right, this is the part where everyone seems to like. Everyone says more news, more news. All right, more hotels. Luxury hotels have exploded this year, and I'm looking forward to staying in these 50 newly opened hotels. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's 50 of them, but there are a couple on here that I know about, that I've known about for quite a while. You're going to find a lot of these are in Yunnan, in Lijiang. They're in Shanghai, but there's a couple of them here in Guangdong that might surprise you, including one in Chaozhou that I'm really excited. So Intercontinental, Hangzhou Intercontinental is exploding all over China. They're okay. They're very business oriented, very corporate, if you will. They're okay. Hotel Indigo, another Hangzhou one. The Wei Anji in Zhejiang. I love hotels like this. This one looks fantastic. Look at that, the Chinese minimalism. That's a thing that is like really coming on. It's minimalism with a modern Chinese twist, and this seems to be where everyone is going. There's a lot of these in Yangshuo and Guilin as well. So there's a new Hyatt Centric in Ningbo. Now, Centric is a brand that I don't know. Hyatt has many brands. Yeah, Hyatt Place, Hyatt House, Hyatt Regency, Park Hyatt, Grand Hyatt. Now you have Hyatt Centric, and it's almost I was talking with the GM at the Rosewood about this. It's almost too much. It's. I mean, how many differentiations can you make between the different levels of your properties? Four Seasons in Suzhou, Kimpton. I've only stayed in Kimpton once, and I was okay. I was pretty impressed. This is also in Suzhou. I'm gonna go through these real fast, guys. If you see something you want me to stop, let me know. Uh, okay, Nanjing, Sanya, of course, Sanya Resorts. I'm really interested in seeing the Ritz Carlton in Sanya, as well as the Bayou Tree. I want to see that one too. I haven't been to Sanya. I was supposed to go during the Spring Festival this year, but when I came back from Beijing, I was so turned off by the headache of testing and QR codes, and I just wanted to relax and not get in it because traveling, although it's wonderful, it is become it's supposed to be a vacation, and I feel like it's becoming work as opposed to vacation. Just going through all the steps and the test, it's not from. I really want things to get back to normal. The Waldorf Astoria, again, this is a brand that the Waldorf Astoria, if you don't know, of course, the famous one in New York City, but there are a lot of them opening up here in China. And it's just another ultra luxury brand that's banking off of its name. I'm sure it's lovely. I'm sure it'll be lovely. More traditional, of course. Another Sanya. This is Four Seasons Sanya. Very traditional. These all kind of. I'm sure it's lovely. I'm sure it's beautiful, but they all kind of look alike after a while. I'm trying to find something unique and interesting. Another collection by Hilton, the Y Hotel and Y Kitchen in Sanya. Smaller little boutique hotels like this have that opportunity to be a little bit more adventurous and take some chances. Shangri-La. Uh, this is in Nanning. I haven't been to Nanning. Shangri-La does an excellent job. I'm a big fan of Shangri-La. Going down the mountain in Huangshan. Okay, this is more like now Huangshan I haven't been to, but this is more like a style that I'm starting to see a lot more is taking these older properties or older designs and making them ultra luxury. And this is what I'm talking about that minimalism, Chinese modernism mixed with this. Now, this is mixing it with ancient. I've seen this before. There's a lot of stuff like this happening throughout the hospitality. Conrad Chongqing, I'm interested. The Conrad, if you don't know, Conrad is a Hilton brand. It's an ultra luxury brand by Hilton, and they're very, very nice. I've stayed in it once, and I really enjoyed it. This one's in Chongqing. If I do go to Chongqing, I was having a conversation recently, and I think I'd want to stay at the Intercontinental. Would be my next one when next time I get to go. Chongqing Jinfo Mountain Cool Guest Tribe. See, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'd love to stay in something like. Look at the wood in that. Looks great. Guizhou. Okay. This is. Oh wow! I didn't even see. Look at the modern angles on this one. Jeez. There's a lot of interesting things happen in Guizhou. A lot of interesting things. Langham. I stayed in Langham once. In the one in Guangzhou, it was an older property. I believe it deserves another chance. Expo Park Tivoli, Ritz Carlton. Yeah, Ritz Carlton. The city Ritz Carltons, the ones that are located like in the middle of the city, I've never been very impressed with. Both the one in Los Angeles at the LA Live, the one in San Francisco is an older one, but I did stay in one in Manhattan. The one in there's one in the one in Hong Kong. They're nice and everything. Even the one here in Guangzhou, they're Shenzhen. They're very nice, but they're tower hotels. There's nothing really exciting and different about it. Um, you could take the Ritz Carlton off and take all the royal blue out and put another label on it, and it would have the same experience. But Ritz-Carlton does have these resorts that are in very remote areas. And so if you want to go to a remote area and you find this ultra luxury experience, that's what Ritz-Carlton does the best. Four Seasons does it a little bit too, but Ritz-Carlton does it really well. And this is a little lodge here in Sichuan. And I one of the properties that I worked at was the one in Laguna Niguel, which Orange County, but it's on the ocean. It's an older property. Great location, but not the greatest as far as property goes. Okay, down the mountain, another down the mountain. That's the second one on this list for down the mountain. I'm gonna have to research that some more. Okay, we'll get to the Guangdong ones. Guangdong, Kunming, a lot in Lijiang. You'll find a lot of them in Lijiang. Lijiang seems to be just going up. Mandarin Oriental. This is again taking that old style Hutong look and creating an ultra modern experience out of it. I did think about staying in a place. I was this close to staying in a place like this. It wasn't this one. I didn't even think this is open yet, but there was another one that was really, really expensive. I ended up staying at the Rosewood instead. Bayun Tree, very expensive brand. If you don't know Banyan Tree, excuse me, the one in Sanya is very famous, and then they also have one in Yangshuo, which is like one of the most expensive properties there. I've never stayed in it. Another one on my list. Check out if I can afford it. Marriott. The Marriott brand is not nearly as popular as the Hilton brand here in China, but they're opening up one here in Zhongshan soon. Club Med. Another Mandarin Oriental Shenzhen. I don't think it's open yet. Is it open? No, it opened on January 20th, so just a couple weeks ago. So something on my list. Okay, another one in Guangdong. The Conrad Shenzhen. I did hear about this. It doesn't look too exciting. It's looks the next time I go to Shenzhen, I think I want to stay in the Hard Rock. There is a Hard Rock hotel with a Hard Rock cafe and all of that here in Shenzhen. It's on the northern side of Shenzhen, almost Dongguan, so it's not in the city center. But it'll be interesting to see what a Hard Rock hotel. I'm going to stay at this summer. Looks like here in China, Chaoshan Bear Hotel. Okay, so now we're getting to Chaozhou. Now this one looked really neat. Okay, Xiamen, Fairmont, Ritz-Carlton, Shanghai, Hongqiu. Oh, that's nice. I stayed at the Intercontinental in Hongqiu. It was all right. So the fact that they have a Ritz-Carlton there now, maybe check it out. Another Mandarin Oriental. Sofitel is a French brand, and they're a hit or miss. The Sofitel I stayed at in LA, it's near the Beverly Center. It was just fantastic. It's an older property, but beautiful. The one I stayed at in Hangzhou was less than perfect. It was less than desirable. So I'll give it another one. W Macau. Look at that. Party Central. In the heart of Studio City Integrated Resort. Okay. And it's a Zaha Hadid design office will make its debut at the end of the year. So interesting. I've stayed at the Studio Center, the Studio City. I enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. So now they have a new. I haven't been to Macau in a couple of years. I can't go. So, all right, enough of that. No more hotels. Okay, what else we got? Okay, this is in my backyard. This is the new resort. Kind of. I guess you can rent these campers for a night. I see a lot of these. They're not cheap to rent a camper. They're pretty expensive. And go tea picking. You can take some canoes. This is in Wuguishan. This is we're really trying to build up more of the awareness of what Zhongshan, my city, and Wuguishan has to offer. Oh, we got some. The American richest are making money from China sooner or later. If the richest people can share the profit from common American people, then everyone will be happy. It is absolutely right that Biden administration collect tax from overseas. American cannot avoid tax by setting up company in Ireland. We talked about this. I mean, Americans are still required to file income tax for overseas income. If you want to get into some of the details, there is a foreign income exclusion. It's a little over six figures, if I believe. So if you're just a teacher, you just file with the exclusion and you don't owe any income. But the um, the real issue is your state. What state you're from? Certain states will not include foreign income exclusion, and they will come after you and they will get you. So watch out for that. Uh, Mona's on. Hi, Mona. Good evening. Yeah, this is Wugeshan. I'm gonna try and find out. I'll forward you this so you can check it out. Uh, Recent RV camping. There are more than 20 RVs in different styles that you can. So some of them are like these wood kind of trailers. Others are like really RVs, and you can go kayaking and tea picking. So again, nobody knows that this is in our. Nobody knows that this is in Wugashan. Yeah, there's all kinds of amazing stuff out there, but we need to do a better job of telling people and explaining it. 800 square meter villa. Look at this. This is a modern interior design. Look at this. This is in Chongqing. I think it's in Chongqing. Modern interior design for Chinese interior design. Mona actually is the one that hooked me up with these guys. I'd love to. I mean, they're doing bigger and bigger projects. This PC House, these PC House folks, they originally were just doing like apartments in Shenzhen, studio apartments, things like this. Now they're doing like villas and offices and all kinds of incredible things. And I'd love to get in touch with them and give some tours of some of this stuff. So it's fantastic. Okay, I'm running out of steam, so I got to get going here. Okay, update on key projects including the Metro Intercity Rail in Guangzhou. There are 780 key projects in 2022 with investment over 364 billion yuan. So Guangzhou is exploding their infrastructure even more. In fact, they're even building an underground tunnel from the city center down to the Guangzhou South rail station. More interested that the intercity rail is going to be all connected with Dongguan and Shenzhen, and it's going to come down in here into Zhongshan, and eventually the entire Pearl River Delta will be connected, not just with high-speed rail, bus systems, and it's all going to have subways and all kinds of stuff, all different, all connected with each other. It's just never ending. There's always construction everywhere. Expansion of the Guangzhou. If you haven't been to the Baiyun Airport, it is huge. It is already very big, and now they're expanding it even more. Someone showed me a picture of the airport here before all of this was built, and it was this like tiny little building, and that was like 30, 40 years ago, and now it looks like this, and it's one of the I think recently it was like the busiest airport in the world. Like last year for a few months, this was like the number one in the world. It's massive. And just goes goes and grows and grows. All right, cool one. The 10 weirdest news stories that you might not have missed from last year. So a woman alleged to be a gold digger online, rumors based on photo with her and her grandfather. Okay. Father dislocates his jaw after losing his temper while tutoring his daughter. Oh, ouch. Man lifts sleeping ex-girlfriend's eyelids to scan irises and steal 23,500 US dollars. Sentenced to 3.5 years for stealing 150,000 yuan from her Alipay account. There was a movie, if you guys recall, it was called Demolition Man. It was with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, and I think Who else was in that? That girl from that woman, Sally. No, what's her name? She was from Speed. I can't remember. Anyways, great movie about the future. And one of the things, everything is eye scan. You get into a room, is eye scan. Or Wesley Snipes jabs an eye out with a ballpoint pen and uses that to get in all the rooms. Now they're stealing your money. Interesting. AI beauty vlogger hits 8 million fans in 1 week. With the metaverse era fast approaching, virtual idols are popular among the young generation. I took a look at the Baidu metaverse. A couple other, I've seen it online and stuff. I'm not sold on the metaverse stuff. I think it's still too early. They've tried to launch it once before. They're trying to launch it again. There's a huge real estate rush and investment. It might be a bubble. I'm not convinced on it. Maybe I'm just an old man and don't know any better. But yeah. Controversial surgery for making women's legs thinner gains popularity. Another one, they're actually making their legs longer too. And for men, calf implants are a thing now. Yeah. Shenzhen hot pot cockroach blackmail scam exposed. A man was caught by police in Shenzhen after blackmailing 2 hot pot restaurants by falsely claiming that he found a cockroach in his food. He was detained for 14 days by police. He confessed that he decided to extort the restaurants, which he thought had charged him too much for the previous meal. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book. I've been in restaurants and hotels my whole life. Things like this happen all the time. Police suspect pretending to be in a coma wakes after smelling officer's curry beef meal. Groom and his best men wear bridal dresses at a wedding. I've seen videos go viral about these crazy games that the brides put their husband and all the groomsmen through. When they go picking, they go into the room and they have to play all these games. Traditionally, they like hide a shoe and you're supposed to look for a shoe somewhere and stuff, or they have to write funny, they do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I've seen some really, really crazy stuff online, but my friends that have been to weddings, they don't do stuff like this. Man claims to be high quality male in weird online photos made up like a doll. Okay. State 18-year-old pregnant with octuplets. An 18-year-old woman in the central Chinese province of Henan became a source of national fascination after revealing she was pregnant with 8 fetuses. Wow. Okay. Interesting stuff. We got some comments here. Let's do some comments before we move on. Jungju J Jungju. Hi Rojo. I like your content. Keep it up. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. All right. Johnson says China has to spend on infrastructure projects because COVID hit economy. Government spending can create jobs, also provide convenience. Yeah, I've said all along, infrastructure projects are what governments should be doing, especially in times of economic slowdown, because they do create jobs. But also they should be doing it all the time. I've grown up playing SimCity games and studying infrastructure and city planning. This is something that it's a hobby of mine and something I really, really love to study and learn about. Infrastructure is wonderful. It's great for business. It's great for city investment. Build it and they will come. And yeah, definitely doing that. I do feel infrastructure boom there is overwhelming at times, but it's still 100% better than spending on military or the illusions of financial markets fill the pocket of those capitalists. A little bit of politics in that. I don't disagree with you. I'd rather investment in human capital, investment in infrastructure. I'm always a supportive of that. Always supportive of that. Metaverse is a pioneering biz, but might be a bubble because technology is not advanced enough. But this shows a trend of human virtual reality life. I wrestled with this in my head, Johnson. Is it a measure of my own age. I'm 42, and I might be getting to that age where technology is, getting a little, I don't understand that. And the younger generation's coming up and they're growing up with it a little bit more. I mean, I can remember days before the internet. The generation coming up now has lived with the internet since they were babies. I mean, they at 2 years old, they're playing with iPads. So is the metaverse going to be something for that generation and it's just passed me up? Or is it a bubble? Because I look at it and I look at what things are being done, and I remember things like Second Life, and I know all these other games like World of Warcraft and all these kind of things. And I know there's money to be made there, but is it the next frontier? Are you going to put on a pair of goggles like they do in that Steven Spielberg movie, Ready Player One, and virtual off and make and live your life in this virtual world and make business transactions, and then go to a virtual university to take virtual lectures, or go to a concert and watch a concert virtually? I'm not 100% sold on it. I don't think we're there yet, especially the graphic. It looks like a computer game. I don't play computer games. Other than occasionally I'll log in and do a little SimCity kind of stuff, but maybe I'm just old. Okay, no politics, guys. I'm over politics. Okay. I don't do politics here. I'm a political guy. I know what's going on. But my purpose is to put my camera on interesting things. 44,000 foreign nationals were deported. This was an interesting one here. 128 million international trips in or out of China. So 2.8% decrease year over year. 4.5 million of them were made by foreign nationals. That's a 65.9% decrease from last year. So international trips from foreign nationals are down 65%. So that's mostly COVID related, of course. 74 million of them were made by mainland China residents, and that's actually up 6.5%. Wow. 48 million of them were made by Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan residents, and 79,000 foreign nationals involved in 3 illegalities: illegal entry, residence, and work. I know a lot of visas are not being renewed. 44,000 of them were deported, 20% increase year over year. Yeah, a lot of visas are not being renewed, and that's also due to the new education policies and a lot of private tutoring companies closing down. So a lot of people don't have legitimate jobs. They weren't legitimate before, and now they're unable to find legitimate jobs, so they're being deported. But not being deported, they're just their visas are not being renewed. There's other factors. I mean, there's a lot going on. It's so nuanced. It's hard to put it one thing and say that's it. Oh, I'm not even showing you guys these pictures. I'm sorry. Okay, well, here's the next one. I didn't even share the screen with you. Top 30 best-selling brands in China for 2021. Number 1 was Volkswagen. That doesn't surprise me. Volkswagens are everywhere. Volkswagens, 3. You have the imported ones. You have the ones made by SAIC, and you have the ones made by FAW. And they're everywhere, man. So that doesn't surprise me. Number 2, Toyota. Number 3, Honda. Yes, that they're definitely the top 3 you see on the roads here by a long shot. Number 4, the number 1 Chinese brand is Geely. All right, my friends at Geely, congratulations, you're the number 1 Chinese brand. If you don't count SAIC, joint ventures and things like this. So congratulations, Geely, fantastic company. I really love those guys over there. They're awesome people. I'm really looking forward to doing more work with them. They got some amazing things coming out. I've shown you the Zeekr, and I've shown you the factory, and I've shown you some of the other Geely products that they're making. That's just the tip of the iceberg. They've got some amazing stuff coming out soon. Incredible stuff. Number 5, Nissan, which actually surprised me that Nissan was so popular here. I do see a lot of Nissans here. I didn't think that they would be ranked higher than that. Chang'an, number 6 out of Chongqing, number 7, Buick. Do they even? I think. Oh, I wonder what the. I don't know it, but what is the ranking of Buick in America? Of course, we all know Buick has a huge history here in China. It's the number one market for the Buick brand. I think China is the only reason why the Buick brand even exists anymore. But yeah, I do. I have friends of mine who have Buicks, and they're very popular. Number 8, Wuling. A lot of that comes from the Wuling Hongguang and the Wuling Mini EV. The Wuling Mini EV, the best-selling EV in China. That tiny little sucker you can buy for like $4,000 or $5,000. The Hongguang, of course, very popular. We're talking about the Mianbaoche, the bread vans. That every new generation gets better and better and better. But Wuling is also kind of partly owned by General Motors. Not many people know that. Number 9, Havel. I know in some markets they call it Haval. I've been told it's Havel. I think that's the correct pronunciation. Here in China, that's what they call it. They call it Havel. But I've heard it in Australia, South America, where they're exported to Haval. I have a Havel. I love my Havel. My Havel's 10 years old. It still runs like a champ. I'll have it. I am looking at a new vehicle, and the ones that are catching my eye and the ones that I'm leaning towards is another Havel. So I'm a big fan of the Great Wall Motors products that they're putting out. Number 10, BID or BYD. They great EV cars, guys. BMW, number 11. Number 12, Chery. Don't see too many Cherries on the road here in Guangdong. I think they're more of middle. Same with Dongfeng. I think they're more like central China. Number 13, Audi. 14, Mercedes. Number 15, Tesla. 16, MG. MG is a brand that is owned and by SAIC. I've gone the record of saying I don't like their designs, but the designs have been growing on me quite a bit lately. GAC is number 17. I like GACs. They're really good cars. The electric cars are a little funky. They're a little futuristic, but the quality of the GACs are quite good. I'm pretty impressed. Dongfeng, I have not been impressed with the Dongfeng vehicles. They're enormous. They make an awful lot of industrial type products, fire trucks. They make passenger cars too. They make a lot of military vehicles. But they got some new things coming out of Dongfeng, and the newest generation of Dongfeng products seems to be on par with the other ones. And so I need to give another look to them. Hyundai Roadway, another SAIC. Hongqi, which has been blowing up. Hongqi has some brands or some vehicles and expanding their brand, and I'm seeing new Hongqi dealerships everywhere. Number 22 is Chevy. Number 23 is Ford, which is the partner of Chang'an. Cadillac, Lincoln Co. Below that is Baojun. Ocean, which I believe is a brand owned by Chery. Jetta, which is basically Volkswagens built by I think they're FAW built Volkswagens, kind of a more budget oriented Volkswagen brand. Mazda and J-Tour. J-Tour owned a brand of Chery. Interesting. Okay, we got some. Has been dropping the past year since lack of tourism. Is that true? That's a good question, Stanley. I don't know. I can't answer that. I haven't been to Hong Kong. I actually haven't been to Hong Kong in years. Definitely since the pandemic started, but it's been about 3 or 4 years since I've been across the bay to Hong Kong because the entry and exit, I can't do it. I just simply can't. I'm waiting for this whole thing to go away so that they can drop the restrictions for mainland to go back and forth. Hong Kong's they've got a lot more cases, and so they keep delaying the opening of the border. So I can't go. I don't know. I have some friends of mine who actually were there for a spring festival. They came back. They're in quarantine right now. They should be getting out of quarantine any day. I'll ask them. Yes. Yes. Again, people love Buicks here. I have friends who own Buicks and they love it. It's considered a very high end, well, not very high end. It's not quite like a BMW Mercedes, but it's considered to be a very good brand. And they're actually nice. I like them a lot. They're not a Cadillac, but they're not far off. Good night, Mona. Have a good evening. When Germany company built cars in China in 1995, the first model German decided the sales were prices at 120, but China disagreed and suggests German VW to set price at. I don't know what it's like. That could be true, but nowadays, the SAIC Volkswagens, the FAW Volkswagens are comparatively priced with other vehicles that are made here. The imported ones are more expensive. Well, they have. Definitely the Chinese domestic car market is very good. We'll start to see more of that in the future. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna skip through some of these. Shake Shack to open in Guangzhou. Yes, Shake Shack to set to make its debut in Guangzhou, opening a store at the Park Central Mall. Park Central is this funky, futuristic mall. There's the Apple store there, the Tesla, you know, there's like a Porsche dealership. There's a very high end in the center of Zhejiang Town, Tianhe district, uh, between the Sheraton and the Marriott, not far from where I was at last night. So Shake Shack coming. Uh, I have to admit to you, as much as of a hamburger nut that I am, I have never tried a Shake Shack hamburger. I think it's an East Coast thing. In April 2021, Shake Shack CEO Randy Guruti tantalized the city's burger lovers with news about their Guangzhou opening, causing many to speculate when it would finally open the doors. Hopefully soon. In China, the global fast food chain has franchises in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Beijing, and Macau. China Daily reports that Shake Shack are planning to open 15 stores across South China, including other parts of Guangzhou, Fuzhou, Xiamen, and further cities in Fujian province. Shake Shack first opened in China and Shanghai in 2019, now has 16 stores across the country. You guys have seen my hamburger joint. I got another one coming up soon. I'm editing it. I got like 2 or 3 more restaurants to go to and grab a hamburger for another hamburger hunt. Hamburgers are becoming extremely popular. I was really hoping that I would see Mexican food restaurants open up more and more, but Mexican food has not caught on in China nearly as much as hamburgers. And I'm not talking just like fast food hamburger, gourmet, like real good hamburger stores are opening up everywhere. Mm. And yes, Johnson, I will be going there, of course. It'll be all over the news when it opens. Okay. Chinese McDonald's has exercise bike for diners who want to exercise. Take a look at this. What a great idea. Why not? Now, do people actually pedal the bikes? I don't know. What do you think? Is this a good idea? It can't hurt. It can't hurt. It's novel. It's something interesting, I guess. Uh, BYD increased its stake from 50% to 75%. Chinese partner BYI sold its shares. That's good. I didn't know that. I need to learn more about that. What's going on, especially with the new auto show coming up soon. So, okay, guys. Stanley says that's stupid. Just yeah, but I mean, it would make me want to go in there and sit on it and ride a little bike while I eat a hamburger, just to say I did it, right? Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off soon here in a second. Thank you for joining me. I got some great videos coming out. I'm editing a couple of ones. I'm editing the new hamburger hunt. Of course, I got the fire. I'm waiting for a couple of shots for the firefighter one. I've started it. It's going to be a big one. Training with the Zhongshan Fire and Rescue team in 3 different areas. I'm waiting for a couple shots to get finished before I'll release that one. So that one's going to be delayed a little bit. I've got used cars again, secondhand car shops with other car vehicles that I'll be putting out there. Snarky came on. Well, Snarky, you missed it, man. We were talking about Shake Shack just now, man, and I know you are a burger fan and love to tease me with Carl's Jr. Well, guess what? We got a Shake Shack finally opening up in Guangzhou soon, so I'll be sure to include that in my hamburger hunt video coming up soon. What else? I got, I'm working on Adventures in Huizhou. For the last year, I've been going out to Huizhou, and Mona has been showing me around the city, and I've accumulated a lot of very interesting things about the city of Huizhou. And I've been putting it off to put it all together into one video. It's going to be a long video, but it's got some interesting food, places, culture, history, adventure, camping, hiking, all of it in one video, and to show off what an amazing city Huizhou is. And I feel very lucky and privileged that Mona was showed me around for all that time. It really means a lot to me, and I want to show it off to all of you as well. So the Huizhou Adventures in Huizhou is coming out soon. The wax figure museum and art studio video. I've got all that done. I got another Rosewood video coming out. I'll be taking a trip to Maoming, and of course, the end of April will be the Beijing Auto Show. A couple other random videos here and there that I got so much. I'm not going to get it all done because I have lesson planning to do. But so yeah, I'm not buying a house. I don't need to buy a house in China because if as a foreigner, you can only buy one house and you have to live there. And I like to move. I like to change it up. Okay, guys, I need to get off because it's 11:30 p.m. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.